All right. What makes a person have free will? This is a debate that I've hated from the quote unquote, "was so important and smart and intelligent, way above you, the gatekeeper. No, 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 you couldn't possibly understand. There's so many sciences and physics and technologies, neuro, biological." Meanwhile, me, I break it down so fast. So, you observe yourself making choices. You've now gotten some free will, have you not? Well, I suppose, yes. Yeah, look at the big smarty brains being fucking duped by a bunch of stupid, I look the other way at a bunch of things that aren't in any way what it is. You can observe yourself making choices. No, I didn't say making choices, did I? I said you can observe yourself, right? So let's go with making choice. So that's the one you want to bring. You certainly can observe your choices that you make. Are they you? I mean, that's a whole other existential. Because, hey, there's multiple yous in there. No, no, no. There are multiple different versions of personalities that you find comfortable and appealing to be. But you can, ultimately speaking, change a lot about yourself, can't you? Well, yeah. Yes. We're having, what is this? This is a decaffeinated Altura, Altura, organic coffee. It's the decaf regular roast, whole bean. Actually, pretty good. It's expensive, but it was covered by my stamps, my food stamps. So there is that. Yeah, standard stuff. It's actually good enough to the point where I wouldn't really say that somebody could easily really tell if it was decaf. But that's me, you know. Except for the whole. Well, you haven't had caffeine in a while. Yes, I know what it was. Yes. Meanwhile, the caffeine addict that I am, yeah, right. He's like, oh, what do you know? I want to get rid of caffeine, a good amount. Like, if I can get rid of all of it, I would. But you know what? I love making coffee in the morning, and that helps me observe these choices I'm making to wake up. Oh, it had nothing to do with what it was. Why would I ever possibly listen to this? Ah, short-sighted idiot. I see a lot of you. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's because I didn't see something. Yeah, but you made yourself feel better, didn't you? Well, he's clearly talking nonsense about any of it. I made a choice to better myself. That's all it is. So you have free will over making it so that way things are worse or better, and you're fully able and capable in all ways of stating that this is going to be a better or worse option if I do it. You can look at those given opportunities, those given problems, and more, and you can bullshit yourself into saying, no, 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 I will not change what this is that I am doing at all. I refuse. All right, all right. Isn't that what that is? Well, no. No, no, no. Some of the best lies that we'll believe come from ourselves. Talk to anyone, you all know that. Some of the worst lies we come up with also come from ourselves. Nobody loves me. I'm only able to be something if I did this. Tweeted Alana Pierce, or hope Tencent feels like they did nothing this whole year. I'm like, somebody needs to talk to them about unrealistic expectations placed on yourself from others and themselves. Meanwhile, I'm like, yeah, it's a free will. There's this concept that it's not really there because you've got a lot of factors to consider. And it's like, right, right, right. Then you're talking about nurture, aren't you? Like this environmental factor means these are the only opportunities, and with my personality and blah 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 blah, for given abilities, for given intelligence, for given predictive analysis of what might and may not happen, you'll make these choices, right? That's all you got. Now, this is a saying that I've stated many times, and others have too. If you replace 90% of a boat, is it still the original boat? That's the crux and the heart, philosophically, that is, at the center of the personality conflict for people. Oh, you changed, this much about yourself. Right, except my exterior, my organs, you know. Except they're changing too because they're getting better because I don't do any of these drugs or I don't go off and do these things or whatever it is, right? Could be anything. Literally. Could be literally anything. Isn't that an odd one? Or is it? Still, still the original boat, right? I don't know. It's got a new captain, new crew, got a new interior. Got a lot of new things in this thing. Is it? Is it possible that it's different enough to the point where you could say, well, it's not the same? When does that happen? Is it at 99%? It's but a fraction of what it used to look like. It's still got some of the rough facial features. Roughly. But everything else got different genitalia. It's got a different fucking personality. Everything's basically different. Right? Say, transsexuals will always be what they are. There is no changing them. They will never, ever proceed to look at a bunch of people. They're traps! They're traps! They trapped me into thinking I wanted this! Oh, so they confused you enough, huh? Well, their personality didn't change, but their appearance sure did. They were always still men and or women, depending. Some parts of the personality, in terms of how they approach things or whatever, change, but is that not also just what happens over time with experience and learning? You know what I mean? It's like, what makes free will? Well, I stated that. You can observe your choices, obviously. You can observe yourself and what you would prefer to change about it. And some parts of it are going to be really hard, and some of them, well, you can't change. That means you have free will. You can make an active decision to do something else. But there are some parts of you that are analog, set in stone. Your transistors can't change, sorry. You can change some of the programming and the kernel programming, but these are your cores of transistors and so on. No, let me change that kernel programming. Now, all of them could be any multitude of different core types and so on that I would want them to be. Yeah, but the pin sets, all right. I shall deliver the voltages differently and use the pin sets differently. Have them interpret their output differently and input differently. I see. Well, I mean, that is that's already on my programming side of things, truthfully, on my YouTube. It's like you can do a lot more with that. It's like, well, I mean, you're right. You're right. Yes, no, which fundamentally alters the basics of that thing, does it not? That personality of that thing is set in stone. Not really though. Do a lot more than you think. Now we're getting into the heart of the person. I like this for the argument of Vivian Majura or something. She's doing this has been hotel. It's like, oh, what's his God and blah blah blah. I don't really ever care about that. For me, it's like, well, if you don't ever notice, they seem to lose their memories and their real core self identity of who they once were when they get to hell. The only real one would be Adam as a person that, well, was a human at one point and still has and retains that self identity. Saying, I don't know if they know about it, but it's actually rather fucking profound. It's really rather amazing. So it's like, well, it gets to the heart of us. It's like, well, they finally changed. Yes, but the original person that was once there is no longer ever there. They are altered permanently. They will never be what they once were. They have never, ever been in a situation and state where their personality, their real core analog part of themselves, allows for them to make that change and do different choices, right? Or is it that we are simply wanting to give them more credit than they deserve? At what point do we go, hmm, they could have done this? At what point do you go, yeah, but they could have still kept trying? That counts for a lot. Could have made a different choice. They could have genuinely just accepted that that's, while something about them that they like, it's not okay to do, and they changed that. What did they do? They died, had that stripped of them, have their entire reality changed and their personality that is not those things altered. While the other one, it's more of the mask, I suppose you could say, that is us, or how we make choices and how we view things. The more analog ish versus the hardware for sure that is us is now there, present. How you'll go and tackle certain issues without really thinking too hard about it. Meanwhile, you get real deep. Some people are really able to alter that part of themselves, the analog ish, so to speak. And yet, if you look at me, there's a person who knows about it and has tried their damnedest. I can't suddenly just work a job. You know what I mean? Can't just join into society like others want me to. that way. Isn't that shit? Right? So, on my YouTube, what do you see? Ways of changing the brain and altering, truthfully, our intelligence, our appearance, how it is we can process, but also our body, how to repair them, all the rest. I certainly don't have any complexes. No, I've never had that. Meanwhile, fuck this place, though, for what it's worth. Unrealistic expectations placed on everyone. So, what makes free will? Where does it start in the brain? How does it observe itself? How do brain do thingies? And yet, for me, the answer's always the same. It doesn't really ever matter. Why should it? You ever think about that? Why should your brain observing itself? It's like, what are you asking? You know what I mean? Like, what are you really looking into? That's where my mind goes. A group of people that's like this, that don't have their fucking mind in the right place of personality, the right place, philosophy that works in any way for this, that preys upon a bunch of people and everybody goes along with it. This idea that this is the only way you can be. This is it. That's all you get. This is the only valid. This is the only normal. This can be the only thing that is. That's not how that works. It's never been how it works. But y'all went along with it, right? It's very puritanical, very religious, isn't it? It's a bit odd. That's for sure. You know what I mean? Like, why would you want to go along with that? There are many ways of being valid, many ways of being able to do work that aren't even counted, many ways of doing many things. You don't even need to be capitalist. You don't even need to have that be what your go-to is. You don't need to have society like this. In fact, fortunately for a lot of people that are up at the top, guess what? You have a lot of ways of making a lot of this happen without individuals doing that kind of labor, putting in work that kind of way. And what do you know? What do you see? I'm afraid we need to police this AI. It's a tool right now. That's all it is. It's just a tool. There's nothing there but that. Seriously, that's all it is. Doesn't necessarily make it a great one, and people can just pick up and make anything from anywhere about anyone. Yeah, that's been going on since time memoriam, time in memoriam, I believe is what that was. That's my problem with that. You know what I mean? It's like, what? Wait a second. They've made funny caricature art or sexualized character art or many things about many people that are celebrities or fucking politicians, kings, queens. Kind of goes with the territory. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna like it. And that's not even getting into the fact that, oh no, I made some art of my picture of my sister. Yeah. Bitch, I told you not to do that. Hey, No, I've never done. Yes, you fucking dick. Meanwhile, behind the scenes and rumors and more still spread about everything, don't they? Never really stopped, you know? I don't know. It's a bit weird. Talking about free will. Ah, yes, free will. Choices, knowing damn well when you get smart enough. That's what the law is about. A bunch of people that know damn well that this shit isn't them. They'll laugh and they'll jeer and they'll whatever. That's the reason why you're angry about it. There isn't really much else there. I mean, come on, right? You don't like it. Of course you don't. It's normal. It's social peer pressure. You don't want to change. I don't like this free will. That's so bad. It's terrible. Why would I do that? I don't have free will. I shall pay a bunch of people to say I do not. Do you understand? We will not allow for this. You must understand. Fuck this idea of free will. But also, you made the choice to take all those drugs. You made the choice to kill those people. You have free will. Uh, no. So it's selective, that hatred. Huh? Yeah. How unusually, very much exactingly the same as it once always was. No, it's fine if I do it for this stuff, but not for these things. Fuck you. It's like, no, they'll change me. They're not always right. So you don't want to do the work. I do the work. I don't need to do the work. I'm perfect. I wouldn't say perfect. Sometimes you might actually genuinely not need to, though. What makes you feel that way, though? Where do you, on your side, come from with what it is that they're doing to you? Why is it made you feel that way? How is it that your perspective is going such that you don't like this? Can you perceive anything outside of yourself? Can you ever validate that other person's experience and what might be going on with them? Free will is not that complicated. Neither is the choices that you make. You don't need high intelligence to make good ones, clearly. What makes free will? Who cares about what makes free will? That's obvious. It's a bunch of people that want to define either where exactly it is, and so they can change that in the brain, or they can get away with shit in the law, or stuff they don't want to take responsibility and accountability for. Which is why I talked about Hazbin Hotel. Oh, I don't want to take responsibility. I don't want to change. I don't want to do this. And then they were fundamentally, fully altered and changed. They are not that person they once were they not? Did you really argue that didn't get into heaven? Well, not that they are, but that is not them, of course. might have a shot, right? It's the whole point of that episode. Of course, it's like, well, it's with this or that or right? These things I don't validate. It's sort of what that is, isn't it? Doesn't need to be so terrifyingly big of a deal. But then take a look at a lot of people. What do you see? A lot of terrified people. A lot. Everywhere. Never want to change. Never want to really do any of that. You know what I mean? Never look into themselves. This sort of thing. It's a bit weird, isn't it? What made me change wanting caffeine? Something I heard, considerations over time. So I know caffeine, while it can be nice, it alters gray matter in the brain, which helps with emotional regulation. Somebody that's gone through a lot needs a little bit better. That's a good thing to have. So I wanted to get rid of caffeine. Decaf still has great polyphenols, amino acids, mineral content. I would say it's kind of a health drink. Not necessarily a bad thing. Not necessarily a terrible, great thing. It's just a thing. I'm hoping and planning for a future where this is better as a result of doing that. And you can't make choices, huh? You have no free will. It's only because your personality they alter the structures of the brain. I mean, yes, but those structures of the brain can alter themselves based upon observations themselves to themselves, which would require us to admit that we have free will and take responsibility for our decisions and actions. Yes. Just as the universe can, right? Observe itself just a little. Stand to reason physics wise. There's no way in any actuality that there's relative quantum relativity where it can observe itself thanks to its own wave functions collapsing nearby, but also to itself. Hmm. Why? No, seriously, why? Why? They can't? I mean, we're electrochemical. We're effectively doing the same thing on a larger scale. What's the difference? You know what I mean? What's the real difference? You ever ask yourself that? Fundamental forces, they're not attached to like basically everything going on. They interact in such a way that it's still there, still going on, still able to store information, bits, quanta allows for the very things that they are to observe themselves. But they're tachyonic. They'd have to be traveling faster than light. Oh, yeah, no, we can observe them so well on that scale. I love how tachyons are everything. Like, oh, yes, no, if it's traveling faster than light, it would have to go backwards, because everything travels only as a result of light. Time is separate to space. While very much intricately attached in a manner, it doesn't necessarily mean in any aspect that you get one with the other no matter what. I love that argument. Space can observe itself. Time couldn't possibly. Clearly, we observe our own space. We are space. We can observe it. The very argument, no, space can observe itself. You're already doing that, you fucking retard. Look at this cock up. He thinks he's smart. It's a problem, you know? People in that field of study in those sciences should have learned philosophy a little bit. Maybe some ethics and morals. What is it that you're going towards ethically and morally? Other than trying to state, for what it's worth, that there will be no personalities, no persons whatsoever, here now, past, or future, that will try and take advantage of your findings. We are doing it currently still. Multiple places around the world where we try and convert people using barbaric methodologies that don't work at all. You know, it's been working for a lot of them? Therapy. Having them examine themselves, their choices, their thoughts, their feelings. Being better able to address their issues, their triggers, their decisions. Be less afraid of themselves and others. Or bullheaded, closed-minded, or whatever else version you want to say it is. Certainly is a choice. They argue, well, was it going to happen no matter what? Because of your personality, because of time, because of the opportunities, because of the pain, because of whatever feeling. Right? That's the argument. Their free will. I'm like, what are you talking about? The choice was still made. You're talking about nurture. That's all you're doing. How many considerations before you make a choice? You are the one that makes the choice. You are the one that puts your foot forward. You're the one that breathes. You can automatically do it, or you can consciously control it, right? Makes no sense, your argument. Your argument is not founded at all in any logic or reasoning. Any real argument at all, really, it seems like. At least to me. It's just like, what are you asking for? An answer to whether or not you really made a choice? Because that's what it seems like. You're asking if you really made a choice, right? It seems like, say, hey, it's okay. Sometimes we don't make them well. Yes, but what if it was someone else that made that choice? Right. Right. How'd they influence you? What? Yeah, how'd they influence you? Did they give you lies? Did they tell you about a world that doesn't exist? Have you think prospectively differently than what the truth might really have been? Tell you fanciful tales of Santa Claus and the road being good when you're an adult and they're mature and they'll work together? Well, did they? Did they withhold information about what they were doing in their corporations and or government or on the side of themselves because they were afraid of what might come and what might change and what they might not be able to do? Well, yeah, all those things. Right. So they did shoot quite a bit. What happened when you suddenly realized that that was the thing that they were doing? Not just capable, but actively doing. And to think a lot harder about that stuff for myself, or I would trust it. Right. You slowly grew up to realize the children around you as you were at that time until as you were an adult and you learned far more about everything that other adults and other children that were once there were doing. They had not changed from when they were around you in elementary school, just as the last generation did not. They were the current ones running things. They grew up to do the same things, more or less, just bigger effects. So the argument that you didn't like that you made a choice and decision that wasn't very good hurt a lot of people, maybe even yourself. Do you have a psychological desire to not have to hurt and admit that? Sometimes we gotta hurt. That's a thing. You know that. Nothing wrong with that. It's learning to forgive yourself. I talked about it. It's a free will choice, by the way. It's like, no, it must be all these other people because it's society and peer pressure. They are the only ones that will forgive me, and that will make it so I am forgiven. Or is it God? Is it some universe? It's collective energies? Which one do you want to go with? No, seriously. Which one? Do you want to view yourself as being this thing so you can finally allow for yourself to forgive yourself? Oh, but you had to make the choice, so you're some general. Let's say you're a president. The stakes, they're so big. I shall make myself feel as though they were. I see. You gotta be perfect. That's the only way. You gotta be more than perfect. Which one makes it so you're allowed to finally have your free will back? As you put yourself into a prison, abstaining from what makes you you. That's what you're doing. I mean, come on. I'm too afraid to make a choice. No, you're not. You woke up, listen to this. Shit, pissed. Clearly not. What if the you that you know, well, are you going to grieve them? So what? Huh? So what? So what? So what? What? Seriously, so what? That person wasn't really helping you. That's you, but they're not really you, you know? Cares about them. They're not that great. Let all these other things, let them go. If there's some things that you like about that person that you felt and feel and all the rest, yeah, right. But, well, now you know that. What are you going to do differently with this new one? Come on. You get it right. Keep the good, remove the bad, forgive yourself, try your best moving forward. People can't fucking at all understand, it seems like, on this one. Who cares at all what anyone else thinks? They don't live your life, dude. Shit sucks. You don't need to get them on on your side. Don't fall for that shit. You know what I mean? It's always a logical fallacy. Yeah. Oh well, I lost all this and people viewed me. Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, okay, whatever. But you're not that thing anymore, and you don't do that, and you do these things. As if they never made a mistake. Well, I didn't make that one. No, you're so much better. Yes, I am. Oh, yeah, clearly. So much. All right. Last time I checked, I don't have to care if you're better or not. You know what I mean? I don't. I don't have to give a shit about that. Oh, wouldn't you want to be like me? Who says? Why? What do you got? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? What's up? Taking a look at a bunch of people that looked at a bunch of philosophers, read a bunch of books, therapy, all that. Saying, what do they got? Is it fitting? Is it working? Aren't you to make the free will choice to observe what they're saying and how it relates to you and everything else around you? It's my dog barks at someone that isn't even there. Some other dog is barking out there. That's what it is. It's okay, Fraser. It's okay. Because that's what that is. You know what that's it. That is, right? Like you've got to know. No, Fraser, it's okay. It's not applicable. Look at you. Trying desperately. I mean, it still stands. You're still the person, the body that decided to hurt that person. No, 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 no. Fundamentally speaking, that person will never do that again. You still want them to be punished, right? You still want that to be really observed and known, right? They still are those things, right? The body and so on. Sure. It's like this is why mistakes and forgiveness aren't a thing here. It's like, well, I'm afraid they'll do it again. I'm like, yeah, yeah, no, that's a normal fear to have, right? Totally normal. There should be something there for sure. Yeah. It's not good. Of course, you should have a change, punishment, so on. Right? That people can be genuinely remorseful. They sure can act really well too. We all know that. That's one of the worst parts about that. Describing it as if it's everyone. Some people just aren't like that. They will always be just fine doing something. But then here's my issue end up having. That's basically everyone. It all depends on the philosophy, the view and perspective of a given individual and the situation involved and what the choices were that they thought they could make. And ultimately how they were raised to handle their emotions. Society never wants to put the onus on themselves as if they had no bearing on the nurture of what it was that eventually made that terrible thing happen to be and come to be. It's a rough one. We condemn mass shooters all the time, and rightfully so. We never want to imagine that there's a terrible family life or there's, you know, big signs mentally and emotionally, and there's a bunch of cracks and holes. It's just cracks and holes in a system. But it's all on them. Is it? Parents didn't change. Kids at school didn't change. Teachers didn't change. Police could have fucking done something, is what they go with. They're social workers. They have free will. They can observe themselves. They're taught that this is God. His plan. It's insane for them to think this way. Right. Making no logical sense? Or just have a perspective you don't like? Which one? Which excuse you'll go with? If they fully believe it, it's just an excuse to you. They have no idea that it might be wrong or right. They don't know. Look at those Republicans. You have a guy to madness beheading his father, showing it online, on YouTube. The Republican Party's at fault for that. It's a psyop. I refuse to think in any way that I might have some accountability and responsibility to take for this. Neither political party, the media, any of the mental health treatments, insurances, healthcare in general, schools, parents around this situation, people in general, as if they didn't know, anything online, as if they're not always watching. Not a single bit. They're perfect. That guy's just deranged. He's a sorry, mentally ill person. It's not something at all indicative of us or, seemingly kind of normal almost at this point. No, our own American citizen is being driven to an extremist viewpoint. It's only over there in the Middle East that they would do such things. Really? It can't observe itself. It's not applicable. There's no way it can do that. There's not a single chance the brain has the ability. I've fed a lot of bad information, this computer. I believe that this was an action it should take. Programming they gave it. And the hardware acted appropriately as it was raised to do. Who are the programmers again? It's only the person's self-programming. Where they get the information again? Just themselves? Really? No, and definitely not. Right? Utter lunacy, that is. It's totally applicable in all ways. This does not have bearing on our conversation about consciousness and free will. He does not know that, well, our minds start making this choice a little bit ahead of time and saying, oh, yes, no, that area, right? And then these influences of different hormones and different brainwave patterning and potential ionic exchanges and so on with the neurosynaptic networks and data input for influence of neurosynaptic network and how brainwave patterning works and what is viewed as correct and so on by itself based upon the information stored within inside. Memory changes its decision making. It's what you'd go with, right? Certainly applicable. It's just the memories, right? The hardware has no bearing. As we know, of course, hardware lends itself to higher chances and likelihoods of views being there, perspectives being taken to heart, and those being resisted. The argument that they make bothers me because it showcases that they are stupid, they're dumb. You know what I mean? No, I don't want to admit that things can observe itself, but then on top of it, we don't want to admit that we should maybe tone down the likely potential of these issues. Not just through nurture, but through us removing some of those gene expressions and combinations. I want to make an argument that there is no free will. Why? At a fundamental level, the universe can observe itself. It gets boring when I listen to them going, well, we can't observe it, so no. Yeah, you can't observe the smallest little things observing itself. God damn. So now it just doesn't exist? Even though all of the patterns of it doing this suggest for sure it's going on. But I can't directly observe this thing. It changes itself when I try and observe it. Oh, really? There are a bunch of cops around this criminal. Does it change its behavior? No. I don't know what you're talking about. No, okay, sure, yeah. But this isn't a joke. Of course, your brain can observe itself beyond just the memories it has. It can observe itself in the current and what led to this moment and these choices and what those ultimately meant, the perspectives, how it came to be, and more. But it's just EMDR, objective, right? Fancy name for, yeah, so this is how my life kind of went. Now that I know a little bit more about how my mom views things, my dad views things, this or that, led to me thinking these things. EMDR. You know what I mean? EMDR is for trauma. And it's like, well, isn't life traumatic? Which one? Not applicable to us. It's just not fucking hates you. Yeah, so you don't like the ability to choose. But do I know if I'm making the choice? Obviously, you made the choice. But there's so many things that could have influenced that. Yes. Yes, there are. It's like therapy often will tell you. Can't account for everything. It's unrealistic. You can certainly make these choices based upon these things and hope these things that might influence you aren't influencing you in a negative way or a positive, hopefully, is what's there. That's all you got. Your argument's basically there is no free will because I don't know about this observation that might be influencing me. And I'd prefer now I don't have any accountability or responsibility for any of my actions or choices or thoughts because of all other things as I scream and yell at the very idea of me existing, me making choice and having free will. Me! I did this thing! I don't like that! That's what that is, isn't it? That's what you're really saying. Because I can't know about all this other stuff. I reject me even existing, and in fact, I am not even really a personality, a person, any choice, anything. It's all other things. I must have evolved myself into the constituent things that are possibly there. See what I mean? Any issues? No, I refuse all of the possibility of what this currently is that you definitely do and feel and experience and so on. It can be accounted for. It's not even axiomatic. Removed your whole axiomatic common wisdom of these influences. Even a way to observe what might be there possibly influencing you, even indirectly or directly. Eventually getting to a point where you could even prevent it. And yet, what is that? A bunch of I'm afraid of having made other people sad, or yourself, for your own personality, for the choices and actions, and yeah, right. That's what you are, arguing against free will. You don't want to make your own choices. You don't make your own accountability. You don't want to fucking take any responsibility. You certainly don't want to take accountability. It must be anything and everything else. Right? That's what that is. That's what they're saying. And you're perfect now. Perfectly good to go. Because there's other things that did this, right? Well, yeah. The argument of God or the universe or something else. You'll let them take control. Take it up with those things. But he's a scientist. They wouldn't possibly think that way. No, but they do, though. Just in a different way. But hey, guess what? I am so beyond even God. There's the other one. I am beyond perfect. I have figured out how to do all this. Meanwhile, my ass. I make mistakes all the fucking time. Are you kidding me? Try my best all the time. Jesus shit. These guys, right? You have to come up with fanciful fucking huge scale problems and people and things. Fantastical ideas to solve their own inadequacies they view themselves to have. Their inferiority complexes, fears of others and themselves. See what I mean? Devil, I am beyond God in his perfection, is what they go with, right? Right? Except that's not really what that was. But now it's gonna be that because you said this thing. Yeah, oh, okay. All right. So I'm the devil. Meanwhile, what did I say? Yeah, so I created a bunch of shit, and I'm currently going through a mistake with how this came out. And ultimately, this is really just that. You know, just trying to fucking make my way through this shit. I don't really think of myself as perfect in any way. Beyond God. Yeah, no, well, I mean, the existence out of my thing. So, yeah, whole thing. There's many different versions of that. I mean, that could be like, what is this? An advanced technology being and race and civilization? Is this a multi-dimensional thing? They go through many universe. Which one do you want it to be? There's many different polythe and multi and mono and all that. What's going on? Well, you're the devil to me. Well, the devil to a lot of people, I would imagine, considering their whole identity is wrapped up in not having free will, and or they do, or whatever version of events they want that makes them coddled and placid to the very fear of existence. Still wake up, still do their shit. It's very weird, isn't it? Their fear of existence. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Everyone seems to have it. It goes along with this bullshit. You have free will. Sometimes your brain is something you're going to trust that made a decision, and that's instinct. Sometimes that could be something else that could be there very much influencing you. Honestly, it can exist. Do they always have your best interests at heart? Did you stop and think? They could be playing games with you, just like anyone else. You call yourself a general. There's a battlefield here. Right. Yeah, they're going to be sacrificed. But, the overall, we won the battle, though. Oh, they wouldn't do that with me. Why? What makes you special? There's no possible way for anything of that size and scale, right? Doesn't exist. Uh, you know everything. Better than perfect. More knowledge than could possibly even be. I have to contend with that. Right. Finally, getting somewhere. Jeez. Stupid after a while, though, isn't it? Tachyons. Faster than light. Who said I have to travel faster than light? Said anything has to do that. Who says that just makes you immediately go backwards? Yeah, sure, if you had mass. Information doesn't have mass. Neither do those particles called light. But they're not information, are they? Well, I'll contend maybe they go the same speed. Okay, whatever. I don't care. Never matters. The point for me still remains the same. You understand that your brain can absolutely look at itself beyond just your eyes and ears, internally, far more than you think. Some of you are afraid of that, run away from it. Some of you are not. You do it constantly. Some of you are a little better at it than others. Some of you got a long ways to go. That's normal. What do you change? How do you know what to change? What's good? As anyone will tell you, it's actually for your best interests. Kind of figure it out over time, like I did. You look, you listen, you observe constantly. Think about what could maybe result, what doesn't, what's reasonable, what's logical. You work on it, you do the thing, and then change it if you need to. There are fundamental truths. Harming others doesn't really help you unless ultimately you're seen as a part of a group that likes you doing that to them and find it acceptable, morally correct, and ethically correct, philosophically sound. That's a historical precedent for us. Always work towards bettering yourself, but also everyone else around you, as that's the only way, really, realistically, everyone will be okay with you doing whatever it is. They all accept that one within inside of the bubble and group and philosophical, moral, and ethical that they view as that being correct and better, so on. If you go outside of it, that have good reasons, make sure to explain your reasons. Make sure to understand it doesn't matter. Many of them will not agree, and that's how the crowd works. Continue doing it, don't care. That's how any of the changes that ever occurred. You kept doing them. Showed that it worked, showed that it makes sense, and everybody kept going with it. Religions don't like that, government doesn't like that, corporations don't like that, creators don't like that. Whoopie-doo, don't care. Still changes things. You want to talk about a psyop? Look how terrible it is to change things, guys. QAnon! Conspiracies! You don't even have the free wills. Uh-huh. It's not a psyop, though. It's still the same damn argument I've heard multiple places throughout the world at multiple different points in time in history. It's basically the same shit. But public doesn't trust the ones at the top having their best interests at heart, and they've got a lot that show off that that is indeed something they should worry about. Well, they're flailing around to try and figure out something. Stabilize again. Standard stuff. I don't like the idea of having made choices. Yeah, okay. Sure, but like you did though, dude. I don't really care. Still made choices. It's okay. They weren't that great. You still gotta take that L though. I'm going through it right now. I made the choice to observe and figure out what I could in the past that was going to affect me and influence me and more up to this point, even making this recording. I keep talking about this, but you really can hear me talk about this out loud back in Chandler if you get the right people willing, effectively, to give you the quote unquote, we're not always watching recordings that they have. They hear, yeah, how much you want? What do we need to do? Eh, there's no way. We would never. Meanwhile, there's a way to observe information and its influence towards the future from the past, right? Down to, because it's solidly this thing no matter what, a breaking of Heisenberg's uncertainty. Perfectly accurate, certain stuff. Exactingly what was, what influenced, and more. All of our current observations in quantum physics allows for exactly that. We absolutely can see the past perfectly without a need for their little recordings. It's just going to take a little bit of time, truthfully, to get to that point. Then I'll eventually all come out too. You can always cross-reference any of their recordings for any manipulations and why it is that I might be mimicking and or this and or that, instead of trying to drum up some bullshit that isn't true. You can observe how I'm telling you the truth. I can be fully confident, sure, but that doesn't mean you're right, right? It's like I don't need to be confident, but I'm right. That's the problem with a lot of people. They know that I know I'm right. It's smarter than the average people. Know a thing or two about this. Isn't that rough? Doesn't that call to an argument of free will? Not really. Calls to an argument of a bunch of people that made no change in their choices. Were just fine with how it is. This went knowing full well they tried to help them see what their choices led to. And this is what they decide to do with them. This is how they decided to do all of this. Made no real effort to prevent a lot. Continued making sure certain things happened. Took advantage, made money. And all the rest of it. Is it set in stone? Obviously not. If it's intentional, it's made to look like it's set in stone. If they lock someone in, however that is, for money, lack of opportunity, whatever else, then it's not set in stone. It's choice to make sure there is no other option, which is free will. Nothing more, nothing less. Of course, they don't deserve to get in, not give in, get in, because I'm heaven. They don't deserve to get into my head, influence me. They didn't deserve shit from me. A bunch of terrible people. But that makes you look as if you're a narcissist that doesn't care about anyone but yourself. Self-centered, psychopathic, blah, 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 blah. I don't personally see it. If you're laughing, that clearly shows off why you're the butt of the joke. I went through this amount of recording, knowing full well I can just choose to not do that. Just like you. the argument of free will breaks down pretty quickly. What argument? What the fuck do you genuinely feel is there? Because it will break down into that. It's everything else controlling you. You're just a puppet. You're not there. But then that is the free will of all of them, is it not? And so the argument is, well, you, the little meat sack thing that you are, doesn't technically. They do. You know, instead of chicken and egg, it's suck it up, douche fuck. Free will and conscious awareness is always there. There's no application for you need to do retard. That's right, you little wah wah wah. Certainly no application. Applicability, more like, too. It's pretty obvious. You're either a person that has control over themselves, or you need to be locked up. Because you don't. See what I mean? You're not really even a person. You devalued in no way. You dehumanized yourself. That's what you did. You. Trying to say I did that to myself, even. To fucking argue with me. You know what I mean? Look at them. It's a person that doesn't care because, truthfully, they're not really there. They fully believe themselves to be a puppet in all aspects. They can't think, can't act, can't do anything for themselves. Something else controlling them, fully and completely. No free will. I suppose we should observe their brains as hard as we can, figure out how to get them back their free will. So, get out the fMRI. Let's really open up that cranium and see how it pulses. I mean, if they're there, that's a direct observational point. It's not even them. They don't have free will. Lay them down. Let's fucking experiment on them. They're not really even going to feel the pain they pretend they're feeling. Just a wiggly little finger or something else. Screaming, yelling, whatever. Just a puppet. See how they puppeteer things. Right? Let's do that. They agree. That's what they are. Let's do it. Morally and ethically, we have an obligation to those of us that do have free will to do these things. Philosophically, it'd make no sense. We'd want to know why and how. So, of course, we would do this. No questions asked. they're not going to put up a fight that we should listen to, obviously. Of course, we want to protect ourselves from big bad evils. God, goddess, devil, demon, daemon, ghosts, what? Who cares? I don't want it. I don't want fucking with me. Of course, I want to fucking get rid of any possibility of that fucking with me. What is this, aliens? Definitely want to stop them. Let's get up in that mind of yours. You need to defend yourselves. Isn't that right? Sit down on the table. We need you awake for this. You know what I mean? Sure, suddenly got free will somehow. Shockingly. Magically. Is that how that worked? Suddenly you now make your own choices. You're not controlled by others. You make mistakes. You're not perfect. Those that really fully believe, hey, you know what? What makes them really genuinely feel this way? And those that honestly want to be seen, that are those things controlling things. Well, wouldn't they want to be seen if they're not hostile? We can sort the sick, those that simply just had some, unfortunately, bad nurture and genetics. You know, and those that might genuinely, actually have something going on. Why don't we do that? It's morally and ethically in all ways sound. It's reprehensible to not do it. Why would we never do this? Wouldn't we want to know to see if our brain really can see things, future and past, be influenced in dimensional aspects, have field effects, quantum tunnels? Wouldn't we want to know? How about entanglement of brain waves, ion exchange rate, firing of those electrons through the little circuitries, field pulses? Could they entangle? Or can we logically conclude they already do that? There's no way they don't. Right. Hmm. That means something can influence us from afar, from outside, beyond just words and sight and sounds, taste, so on. Are they really just hallucinations? Wouldn't we want to know? It's just a glitch in our brain, right? It's just a glitch. All right. How many glitches? How many times, for me, am I going to tell you a bunch of stuff that clearly shows off that if you did a little bit of work, first getting that information I did back when I lived in Chandler with my parents, throughout the rest of my YouTube channel, how it panned out that these things were correct. How many times is it just coincidental predictive analysis and personality predictive analysis and so on? Just means I'm really, really, really smart. I wonder if that's why they would just constantly hack and watch me. I mean, you could just be really good at it. Still wouldn't change anything. You see what you're doing? You're fucking influencing us to believe what you're saying. And you don't try and convince and persuade people. Last time I checked. You do, right? No, I've never done that. Oh, really? Just take a look at all of your online history. Oh, yeah. That's not true. Certainly doesn't seem like it. Yeah, well, could you point to a specific example? All right, write that in the comments. Wouldn't change me though, because we're talking about free will. Of course, the choice was made. I'm not going to write that in the comments. No, that's no, no. I would. uh, Good observed. I don't like that. There'd be opinions and judgment about me. Right. Sure. That's bad, huh? There's no reason for you to have your free will questioned because of societal social peer pressuring and needing to be perfect or beyond that. I've never done this thing, and you're never gonna fucking get it. Any of that information of any of the things I might have done. Privacy! Obscure, obscure, obscure! Muddy, muddy, muddy! Gray, gray! I had to! We all make mistakes, we all make choices. Shut up. Jesus fuck, you fucking weirdos. Fucking oddballs over here. They have to defend themselves. Someone that doesn't give a shit. I don't even care about them being on my side. That's the problem. That's the fallacy they've got, yeah. There's no way to possibly have something influence us. Yeah, the more knowledge you gain, the more likely it is. From afar, not just our own little eggy egg things that are perfectly Faraday caged and protected in all ways from any possible influence, quantumly, There's no way for them. Meanwhile, the textbooks go, and the DSM believes that there are things over there influencing the psychosis. Meanwhile, a bunch of quantum physicists come around. Psychosis? Are you a fucking insane dumbass? That could absolutely happen. We would love to see if we could find out if that's how much. I mean, it's going to be happening. It's not if, it's how much, really. So they were right. The people smarter about the world's constituent componentry says you're wrong, neurobiologist, psychiatrist, psychologist, therapists, counselors. We use incorrect over here. Yeah, I'm not one of you. Suck it up. I don't care. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Because it's like, huh, look, you have a side that says you're meaning well, but behold, all around you that you influence change. And while some of them get better, many of them are not. They might genuinely be getting fucked with. That's a thing. So they're in psychosis. Brain's trying to interpret what the fuck it is that just. Okay. Some of them might be genuinely getting fucked like that by a bunch of fucking people trying to fucking figure out how to do that shit to them. Could be even ourselves in the future. Or ourselves in the recent enough past, or someone that hit upon something, managed to get somewhere with some prototype or whatever. Could be other people with their brain having figured it out. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't give a fuck what you like, you piece of shit. Grow up. Psychic warfare. Psychic warfare. Yeah, yeah. And they all said that the internet couldn't have a warfare for propaganda and posts and more, and it wasn't going to be relevant. Then Trump happened. COVID happened. All I hear is a bunch of people that need to fucking rapidly change their minds and opinions about a lot of things, and they're bad at doing it. That's all I'm hearing. Say, hey, let's not allow ourselves to be too open-minded. Where's the oh my god, that's a lot. Shut up over there. I'm still trying to get my ass out of this. I bet that there is no such thing. Uh-huh. I will never change my mind or opinion on this. I learned this 30 years ago. You weren't even born yet. It has not changed. Still what it is. No new information is there. Fuck those better, newer DSMs. They say they're better, newer. They're not. Uh-huh. Give them ether, too, to calm them down, right? Is that what that is? They love just giving them, like, all the worst meds, right? Give them the Haldol's. You like the Geowadines? Chew them up. Chew them up. Shock their brains. Shock them. Doesn't matter the current or how you do it. It's whatever. Just, you know. Where's that stick? Tunk, 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 tunk. Gotta get them lobotomies. That's how it fixes it. That's what that is, right? Still a person in there. Oh, God. There's no way something so fragile, a little metal stick poked in the right way into a brain, changes the fundamental properties of a free will, consciously alive person. They're not so fragile that things on these scales could ever possibly influence them. There's no way. Guys are fucking retarded. Free will is not there. Okay, just take a look at this brain again. Looks like it's doing the observational thing of itself. Then goes, these are my possibilities future-wise. These are all the things I know, and I can relate to this, and the likely outcomes of some of these things. Otherwise known as, I think she'll act like this. I think he'll say that. Yeah, they might like this. They might not like that. Should I change my decision based upon this? How about you? What about you? Yeah, no, but I'm like this. Okay, so what do you want to do? Well, Oh, self. Oh, It observes itself. There is no self inside Eastern philosophy. There is no identity in there. Okay. Buzzing away. There's none. I can't observe my fucking. Meanwhile, ego disillusion. I see that I was not all of those things that I perceived myself to be. Along the way to it going away, I see how that influenced. You don't just like observe your choices and thoughts and shit. You needed to dissolve your ego to see this shit. Really? This is the only time you ever saw yourself for a little bit? Nobody was gone, and it was nothing but all these things, except that nothing that is observing all these things that it is still there, which means that's still you. No, no. I would prefer to think of this differently, so that way I feel better about this. Okay, suck it up. I don't care. Still there, dude. It's still there. The real self of yourself is still there. It's a blank slate often, right? There's still hard things that you really can't just change. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like you still got a dick between your legs. Shit. You're still probably someone that likes pancakes. Eh, damn it. Yeah. Yeah. You still have fundamental approaches that are adhered to your hardware. Although you have programming workarounds for some of that, obviously. How you approach and how you remember and so on that you can do, right? But just like anybody will tell you, an Xbox 5 years ago can't run games right now without it basically being a frame per second or something. It has to do that many workarounds, that many fucking checks, that many this, that many that, whatever. Slows it down pretty hard, doesn't it? They call that intelligence, I'm going to check, I'm going to be cautious and and then perceive that, blah, 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 blah. Sure slows it down, though. I can remember all these things. Yeah, okay, sure. Last time I checked, zipped files still take a while to unzip. You just get better at it. That's neural networks, right? To a point. Yeah, to a point. To a point. There you go. Fundamental problems. See, this is what I'm telling people. You can still be disabled, not even just physically, but mentally too. The brain can't magic up a fix and solution. You can't do that. You still have to fucking help it. Still attached to the physical, the organic computer that is there. Magic little, they go away, metal stick. It's magic. Magic, huh? Magic. Yeah, last time I called that magic, I was thrown out. I got accepted by a bunch of people that were stupid as fuck and believed in bullshit. You know what I mean? It's magic. Thought that was science. Thought that was physics. They don't do that anymore. Oh, it's a good thing those guys died. Remember those stories you used to tell of those barbaric methods? And you finally got in 30 years ago. They were still championing lobotomies, ECT, with no real oversight or any real electroconvulsive therapy, by the way. That's what that is. You know, volts and amps and types of currents and where to do it. Just shock them. They'll figure it out. Brain resets itself. So. They need it multiple times. They definitely need all of these. Ooh, is that an email? Huh? What? Is there a lot more? Although some of those are not that bad. I mean, sure, they have side effects. I mean, guess what? MAOIs are not that bad, actually. Yeah, they do have the potential to, if you fuck it up, get yourself killed, but they are still some of the best medications we ever created for depressants, antidepressants. Seriously, not even a joke. Like, they have the highest rate of remission of any medication we prescribe. It's remained that way. Not tricyclics, not tetracyclics, MAOIs. None of those fuckers really hit them, but that's decades and decades of studies for that, you know. So that's what that is. But oh no, 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 no. These ones over here, they're less likely to kill you. Okay, sure. How much less likely? I mean, it's like, let me just take a look at this. I mean, so they can actually take enough at once to harm themselves. Is that what that is? Well, there's some like grapefruit stuff or whatever, right? Well, yeah, just don't eat grapefruit. You probably weren't anyways. Jeez. Very few people eat grapefruits these days. Look at them over there. Just don't eat the grapefruit. The Kool-Aid grapefruit juice ain't good no more. That's serotonin syndrome. Other versions of it, right? But it's a couple little diet changes. Actually, it's remarkably safe for what it's worth. You know? But what was it that changed us prescribing it? It wasn't people eating a fuck ton of grapefruit, which, by the way, back then was a thing that we did a lot more often here in America. Very few people do it now, but back then, more people ate grapefruit. Probably explains why that's on the label. Don't do that. Whatever that is. New. Came up with other medications. It got seen as more legitimate, didn't it? There's more money to be had, more things to be sold, more marketing, and more. There's a free will choice. Always a free will choice. I don't think you understand how much I don't want to take accountability or responsibility for any of this. Pollution? No. I have no free will. The market and so on, the demand and the blah, 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 blah. Money, blah, 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 blah. Capitalism. No, 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 no. Because you see, no free will. It has to be. I see. They all seem to say the same stupid shit. You know? What makes a person have free will? What makes a person? Willingness to accept fault and responsibility. Make mistakes, grow, continuously learn, and have a personality that says, yeah, I'll fuck it up, but fine. I don't care. That's all it takes to have a free will. Because otherwise, what are you really saying? Strap you to a table, observe the shit out of you, huh? What's really going on there? Look at them. The bullshit. The medicine changes you. We have no idea what free will is without and glug glug of the water. Oh, okay. You sure about that? Those are pretty constant variables, I feel. We have to do pretty consistently. Please stop that. I don't want to be tortured. Oh, so you have free will? No, obviously I do not. I. So you're just something that's being controlled by something that doesn't want to be found out. Okay, let's get gun. Let's figure that shit out. That's what that is. Free will is simple as it gets. Your brain, you're this, you're that. You observe yourself, you observe your triggers, you observe your influences, you observe your own self and its impact on it. You do it consistently. You do it like they talk about in therapy, right? You come up with your coping skills, workarounds, maintenance methods, and so on. It's like, no, the brain would not allow for this to. Oh, okay, sure. Yeah. Let me just, here's some medicine or whatever. Oh, all of a sudden you want to. You want to do that. You're more inclined, I guess. I increase the likelihood chance of your personality fitting such that you're okay with being free will. You get it? Give you some basic therapy, philosophy, moral, ethic, education. Teach you how to observe yourself and your feelings. Is that not something I talked about in the sexual inclination playlist multiple times for how children would really benefit from that? No, because you'd have to validate them being this, or able to say that they consent, or that they're having feelings that I don't like them having this early. Uh huh. Yeah, I don't care. I really don't care about that. You should do that anyways. Ugh. See what I mean? That's my problem with them. It extends this argument of free will into so many things they don't even see it. They don't even see why that's going on, how that relates to itself and everyone else. What makes a person have free will? 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 They don't see how it extends. They don't see. They don't see how it extends. It's what you want me to act like. Because I've been repeating myself. I mean, you say it every so often, like it's some poignant remark at this moment in time. Like I should suddenly just change my mind and see it as profound or something. Like you're doing some big speech. I see. So you do not wish in any way to change? That's what I heard you say, you little fucking cocksucking bitch. 'Cause that's really what I heard. I heard a bunch of bullshit come out of your mouth that basically says, I'm not going to treat this as serious or in any way as something I should consider or anything, really. And I'm going to, bully and put you down as if you're making statements that are something that I should do that with, devalue and invalidate any of those things. I'm like, ah, you got the power back. I didn't know you had free will, huh? But doing that means you for sure do. No, it's someone else. Oh, so that person has free will. No, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. It's not, huh? You have to explain that one to me. That's a very bad logical argument you've got over there. No, you're the one with the bad logical art. You. Okay, sure. Yeah. And yet, what does it matter? We already established there's a bunch of people that are going to go act like this and lie, and even have their scientific endeavors proceed forward as if anything that they're saying makes any sense. Because there's money and a group that has a philosophical, moral, and ethical argument that they want to escape any responsibility and accountability. See what I mean? That's all that really is. You're not going to change their minds, just like the anti-vaxxers and more. It doesn't exist somehow, some way, in any of your sciences and fields of studies. Of course it does. I see what you're doing. You're going to ruin our ability to look at our apparently very open-minded community. It's so good at doing what now? Excluding and gatekeeping? Anyone that shows off their flaws. No free will, huh? It's so hard to know, is it? The individual person, or even the group, the reasons behind it. You can't possibly know and predict. You can't possibly figure it out. There's no way. Seems to keep looking. Oh, it seems like it's this. Is that? Oh, you're angry. Well, that's what that was then. The very idea. Oh my god. Oh shit. See what I mean? It's impossible. So impossible. What makes a person have free will? They're like me. Instead of fucking being intelligent or something, they go, fuck this. I want to make choices. I want to take accountability and responsibility. Admit that I have mistakes that I've done and will do in the future, and I'll keep trying. I'll keep growing and getting better, and that's all I've got. That's what takes that free will. It's a lot. It's really hard to deal with. Fucking pain and anguish, depression, the forgiveness you have to give to yourself, regardless of others and their thoughts and opinions on you. Even if they feel and think that they are correct, you have to go, but you're not. And it doesn't matter what you think or say, how you phrase it. You have to look like that self-centered narcissist, even when you're not. Because they're going to gaslight you just like the fucking abusers that probably helped you to get to that point. That's what that is. What makes a person have free will? It's pretty obvious. You're going to have to say that you're strong enough to have it. You have to go through the pain, go through the joy of having it. You can't go to other people for advice as much as you want. All of them are trying to influence each other. I'm not different. Mine just happens to be more trying to influence things in a positive direction with a lot of great, smart, intelligent arguments that I had to make for myself, for what it's worth. That's all that was. So, yeah, that's all I've got. Try my best too. God. Yeah. This is what I've got, man. Yep. It's doing something, I think. These are the reasons. Yeah, there's good reasons, honestly. Yep. Thanks, man. Tried. Took a lot out of me to get to this point. Tell you. I feel really hollow and I'm still building up. Fuck. Decaffeinated coffee. Still building up. Went for a decently long walk yesterday with my dog. Still trying. I'm trying to eat better. Had a lot of sugar. Bought a lot of bad for me sugar stuff. Ran out of my snaps. I use coupons every time, and yet I still can't make it work for an entire month. Turns out I'm not the only one though around here. It's the worst. So you only need to buy what you need. I'm like, yeah, well, is that some milk? That's some meat. Stuff to make smoothies. Is that cheese? Is that some bread? There's some eggs over there. Some beans and rice sometimes. Meanwhile, every so often, fuck this. I want bad for me, like snacks. Just gonna buy a snack. I'm gonna buy fruits too. Fuck this. Meanwhile, I don't have any money at the end of the month. No pay. Alright, wait a second. Oh, looks like I got one of my medications delivered to me, which is nice. Oh, you don't need that. You could just go over there. God damn. This is better than it was. Yeah, that's for sure. I'll take that. I appreciate a lot of what I have and what people do for me because it helps. There's no fucking way you could do everything, you know? Anyways, takes a lot to have free will. It wears on you a lot to make your own choices as best you can, knowing full well there's a lot there that can get in the way of it. And they say you shouldn't stress and live in the moment, but you kind of need to fucking stress a little bit and be anxious enough to fucking go, I need to consider this shit. I need to think about these possibilities. I need to think if whether or not they're thinking like this or whatever else. Because truthfully, they're doing the same. And they will use it to manipulate you. Because you're going to manipulate others. No, I'm going to talk and try and form a good argument that gets rid of theirs. So you can have an actual conversation for once. And they can validate you a little bit. Assuage their fears, like they do with any presentation. Here's things that you thought I didn't consider. Well, guess what? I did. Hey. Yeah, hey yourself. You don't even know how much more peer review I do than most other people peer reviewing. It's a start. That's the step. How do they and this and that and. It's a rhythm you gotta have with yourself. To yourself. Did I? Am I? Am I using this as an excuse, enable, to influence, manipulate, allow for, to not do that thing that I want or need or whatever? Am I going to disengage? Am I going to invalidate my feelings and triggers and issues for these things that are really very much a thing that I need to because it will 100% hurt me over time to deal with this way? Is there another way I just haven't considered? You have to be inventive with your solutions. There's only so much you can do. Any disabled person knows all about it. Oh, I've got a wheelchair. There's not a fucking... And there's this many steps? It's bullshit. Hey, could you carry me? I know this is awkward, but... No, I get you, actually. Yeah, no. Let's get a couple people. Yeah, we'll get your chair. Yeah, thanks, man. No problem. Yeah. Meanwhile, no one around. You have to do it anyways. Fold the fucking stupid chair. I'm gonna fucking hobble up every goddamn step with my butt. Just lift myself up with the fucking stupid crap. Nobody? You all suck. This is crap. Fucking dare. Fucking stupid heavy ass wheelchair. Oh god. Yeah, I'm here now. It's crap. How do I get into this fucking thing again? I'm tired as fuck. I don't wanna. Yeah, I know. Fucking fuck. Just gonna sit here for a while. It's not funny. It's a genuine thing. People had to do that. They're still alive today. They still have to do that. Some of them. They don't even think about it. Oh, my mind. Ah, fuck. No one's around to help. Fucking shit. Fuck. I have to do this thing. Ah. Fucking tired. Fuck, trying to get myself to fucking do this. It's not that hard. Why don't you just do it? Where were you when I was trying to do this? You could have helped me. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you fucking going? Would you help me with this? No. No, I don't want it. Fucking dick. You gonna fucking have me do this by myself? You just need to learn. Oh, I need to learn? Clearly I'm doing it already. Wait. Oh, yeah, conveniently just far enough I can't just hit you. Hey, everybody, this cocksucker's not helping me. Look at him. He's probably that guy that stands and watches some douche fuck over there, as he likes to call him, try and do the pathetic, oh, I'm so fucking disabled as I try and hobble up these stairs with my wheelchair. Just standing there. Look at you. Look at them. It's the same thing. They don't even treat it the same. Look at them. They can laugh. Oh my God. The garbage. They got fucking fed a bunch of lies and helped to view that way. Taught and trained, groomed, educated, parented, society. Even the institutions themselves eventually had to go, yeah, okay, fine, mental health can ultimately disable you. But you know, shocker. Is it though? Is it? What makes a person have free will? A willingness to understand that everyone else is shit. And you are as well, and you're going to make bad choices, and you're going to try your best. That's all you got. That's it. And they're shit. At least you don't think that way. At least you don't feel that way. At least you understand, you empathize, you sympathize, you can relate, you can understand more perspectives outside of just your own and all the rest. And you'll make choices as best you can off of that. Look at them. They're reactive. That's not free will. Reactive is not free will. That's someone scared, flying to anything, just immediately doing something because they're afraid, stressed. They don't have free will. They control you. Many things can. You yourself, with your own fear, give in to your fear. Oh, what about this thing that you are worrying about? Give in to it. Give in to it. Now do this thing as a reasonable expectation to do because of this thing that you're afraid of. That's right. It's reasonable to be afraid of this thing that you allowed yourself to give in to this fear and then not do this thing or do this thing. Discrimination of all sorts. Different perspectives and ideology. They're terrorists! Terrorists. Terrorists. They're Al-Qaeda's, the Al-Rails, Jews, Muslim, the Catholics, evangelicals, atheists, capitalists, socialists. Look at them programmers. They're not biologists like us. Look at them chiropractors. They're not like us doctors. Dentists are beneath. Tiers and classification, judgments and opinions, all formed over reactive paranoia, stress, and anxiety, who feel better than others and their choices they make, not free will. That's not free will. That's an animal running, trying to make itself feel better. It's getting chased down by the very things that make it understand. Make it feel make it see, make it know, make it choose something that doesn't make it feel so comfortable. Of free will. You don't have that. You're not like me. You're not like the others like me. You don't have free will. But you do. You know what you're doing. I'm not going to give you that. You made a choice to do that. Think those ways. Act that way. See it that way. Change in no way. Do nothing at all. You made your choices. You didn't ever challenge any of your perceptions, any of your thoughts, any of your triggers, any of your feelings, any of your beliefs, any of your actions. And yet they do. Look at them. I don't want to drink anymore. Oh, really? Or there's a free will choice, isn't it? How come you don't want to do this? What makes you not want to treat them as if they're human? Well, how come you don't want to change capitalism? What about the Constitution? What about the structure and hierarchy of your government and corporate systems? How about your infrastructures? How you program? How you allow for healthcare and free communication to others? Well, I'm waiting. How come you didn't change that? Oh, these reasons. Oh, yeah? Let me just show off all the reasons why they're not correct. Those reasons. But I feel this way. Oh, it's a feeling. So you're reacting. You're uncomfortable with this. What makes you uncomfortable? Oh, I think this. Well, we've already said that that thing that you think is not correct. So why don't you change it? It's hard, right? But you have to keep doing it over and over, and eventually it changes and you feel more comfortable. Last time I checked, that's how you started pooping and peeing by yourself. Started making your own food, right? Going to school on your own. So what changed it? It's hard. Yeah, I didn't say it wasn't. How come you don't validate that part with others? If you're afraid, of course, it's hard for you. Why don't you validate that for others? No! 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 Oh, look at you. Still clinging to this idea that this couldn't possibly be something. That I have to treat them with respect and dignity. Transsexuals, gay, pedophiles, capitalists, socialists, government, corporations, hackers, creators. Cut from the same cloth. They're black, they're white, they're indigenous, they're slightly off color. There's blue! Okay, that's a lot of silver, but yeah, no. Right? This makes no sense. It never makes sense. Anyone that sees it gets it, and they can't let it go. There's no way to let it go. Of course I want to be frugal. Of course I want to make my own decisions. Of course I want to fucking fail and get better and accomplish and all that. Of course. Of course I have to challenge that. Of course I have to challenge that discrimination and non-ability to allow myself to be uncomfortable. Of course I have to do that. Of course. It makes total sense. Right? And of course I have to allow for the open-mindedness. Right? I have to validate that other side. Where they might think they're coming from. No, 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 no. Don't interrupt like that. Where do they come from? That's a better way to put that. Where do they think they might? I'm already above them. No. No. You're the same as them. Albeit just different information. That's what that is. Very similar at the very least. Yeah. So, where do they come from? That's you, effectively. Albeit different raising, upbringing, and some more likelier growth of neurons and connections in certain areas thanks to those nurturing and genetic triggers. Well, that would make them more like this, and that would make them more like that. Oh, what do you know? Perspective-based thinking. Yeah, Sonderism. Huh. Hmm. They're connected, but separate, obviously. Oh, I know and I recognize I have all this, and they'll use these, and then it's like, here's the perspective-based thinking. I accept that this person is very similar to me. These differences. They'll make choices based upon this information, and they're more likely to make more choices like this because of these things that I have to validate as being true. That makes them incapable of what I do. We're not the same. We're fundamentally different, and yet we're very similar in that aspect. It's a free will choice to accept others outside of yourself and really dig into it. You have to choose to do that. That's right. You have to make yourself think about others beyond yourself. Friends, family, other than the person you're thinking is just the one you're thinking about. Did you not see it? Oh, what nurturing, what societal influence, what culture, what choices did they make that they see that led them to feel and think and see like they do? Oh, what do you know? We're back at the beginning. Of course, we are not to blame ever for mass shooters. There's some blame there on your side. There's a lot of blame on a lot of people's sides. You're a society that raised them, are you not? You're all doing this together. You're connected as one. You're not really, but you kind of are. Of course you did that. Just a little. Just a little. How could I have known? Takes any one of you to no longer be a bystander. Any one of you to group up together and form something in the political party to try and ultimately put resources and attention on this, curtail its proliferation, the egotistical, the manifesto, the psychopath to be observed, the obvious serial killer. They don't care. They just want to be heard and felt and seen somehow, some way. Or they're just people that want to go out. They don't really care. Right? But that's a different one, isn't it? Same thing. I don't really care about being seen or anything. But you know what? This is a fun way to go out. I don't really care about you. It's like, why do you want to die? Still in society, isn't it? Still on the rich, the elite, the powerful, and a bunch of serfs and servants and so on that don't ever want to rise up a little and fucking force it. They have tanks now. It's not like it was back then where they just have some swords and maybe some muskets or whatever. All right. More than enough ideas of how to get around that. You ever tried talking to the police and all those fuckers in the military? Clearly enough of them joined QAnon. They don't like this shit just as much as you. Seems like you're not understanding a lot more people want this change than you think. You might honestly be able to vote this in. What's the problem? But I don't, why is it always violence? How come you don't want to just vote? How come you don't want to do the work of, fuck it. I'm already basically homeless. Screw this last fucking vestige of whatever. Fine. I'll go fucking force myself to go over to our local government goings on and fucking get involved. You know, there's a few people that are willing to even try and do it out of the fucking 330 plus million of us. It's only when it's drugs. We want the drugs, it seems. Okay, sure. Fine. What about this stuff? Yeah, but I don't like them. Okay. So you'll hurt yourself to allow for them to not get that. But they're rich enough, they'll get it. The fuck? Yeah, the fuck. Oh, they're black, they're white, they're Hispanic, they're an immigrant, they're rich, they're powerful, they're poor, they're stupid. Guys are a bunch of passive aggressive petty bastards, abusing each other, making everything get worse. That's a choice you're making. Not me. You all. I put a stop to that a long time ago. I do the best I can with what I can do. It's a bunch of fucking damn people just doing this over and 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 over generationally. Every which way. So it doesn't matter where they are, what town it is, what they think, what they feel. Makes a person have free will. Makes a person have free will. Makes a person have free will. It's obvious you do. It's obvious on a fundamental level, even if you're not really, fully, truly all there, aware, or even of the scale of everything, so on. You already do, and you're already making the choices. It's clear as day. So clear, the air is dry with no fog and no dust, no humidity to speak of, no heat to mirage, no obscuring of any sort. You're obscuring the facts here. We couldn't possibly blah, 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 blah. You chose to not think, educate, perceive outside. You chose this. You have free will, and you don't want to accept your choice because you don't like it and what it amounted to. You don't want there to be free will. It absolves you of your issues that you caused. Some of them are like myself. I'm not doing that anymore, and I change. Fuck you. I have the free will to choose to do it differently, try different things, and work on myself, help others, say screw you all. So do you. You chose not to. Makes a person have free will. I think that's pretty obvious. Even in the brain, how it happens to do this. Oh, yes. Brain waves resonate. The observational capacity of different parts of the brain for sensation can absolutely observe other feelings and thoughts at a resonant frequency as it happens to influence and interact with different parts of the memory, forethought, foresight, triggers, emotions, and more. You can clearly observe yourself more than you say. It's obvious, both your physical and your mental observations of imagination and imagining what you yourself to be can help. Everything in your brain can observe itself, which is a good thing. It's not just the corpus callosum sending information back and forward. It's just but one sensation, sight, that can always be updated differently. And you'll find that the brain does do this. They have certain meditative imagination techniques going on. It's a workaround. And what do you know? Even though they cut it to stop the seizures, they can 100% see what one of the eyes did not. Same thing with the ears. It can be balanced. There's no excuse. It's not multiples of you. It's clear there's the one deep inside. That's all of us really are. Afraid to admit that we just can't do that. And yeah, it'll take a little while longer for me to work around some of this, and okay, fine, I'll do that. But I can't do it that way like you do, or this person does, or whatever. Like, yeah, I know I can see this differently in your way, and I agree that it'd be right, but still, I like feeling more comfortable this way. Yeah, right? And you'll feel more comfortable that way eventually. You don't like the change. It's all this is. Sorry. It's all she wrote. What makes free will? I already had it. Just refuse to acknowledge any of it. You need to give me all those studies about this. Go look it up yourself. You have Google, Yahoo, Bing, whatever the fuck you want to use. Do the work yourself. Oh, I'm so self-involved, and since you didn't, I won't even bother to look it up myself at all. That's what this is. It's just wrong. I'll not even anyway even entertain the thought. Free will. Choice to remain ignorant and not change. Wouldn't even matter if I gave them those studies. They don't want to do it anyways. Isn't that rough? You're surrounded by all of this with your free will to know damn well you're not really gonna be able to do much. Come on. It's enough to make someone go through some shit, isn't it? Right? You're normal. Let yourself go through it and come back the other side. Still be willing to have your free will. Better for it. That's all it is now. You have to form your coalitions or party members or groups, bubbles, tribes. Groom them, educate them, parent them, train them, teach them. All the same shit. Think my way! Yeah, just like they all do. No different. Is it an It sucks when someone's willing to expose that directly to you, that you're doing that, and there's nothing you can say and or do that'll ever change it. And instead of like, oh, it's because he's an anti-vaxxer or something, it's because he's just got a lot of fucking evidence and logic and reasoning, philosophy, ethics, and morals on his side that destroy yours. Just utterly obliterate and annihilate them. Just gone. Yeah, well, Is it a yeah, well, Come on. There's no way I'm talking to some of you. No way at all. Even when I'm not recording. No way for me to see or observe that. You refuse any knowledge, any experiment, any possibility outside of what you currently view it as. Whereas I continue to look, see what they come up with, and it's the same bullshit that doesn't actually equate to what it is they're saying it is. Based upon faulty logic to begin with. Now they're questioning even free will. They can get away with their bullshit. I need more money. I need this to be right. Sure. I guess. Proliferator of medicine. Why not? There's no existential, no personality, no desire for yourself to not be the bad that you are. It's only money, 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 huh? There's no person there. None of you. No, come on. What makes a person have free will, right? There's no way for him to have done this. Well, actually, it turns out there are a few ways already that we know of. He might be a prime example of absolutely someone that can do this. Full of evidence, we just have to look for it. Ooh, fuck off. Oh my god, they're believing him. No! Well, what have I done except ruled out a possibility? Truthfully, the world's better for it. I figured out how it might happen, and truthfully, again, prevent it. The world's better for it. What if all this climate change is a hoax and we end up with a better life and world for nothing? Oh, that'd be so terrible, huh? Uh, no, it's not. Obviously, it's great. Suck it up. You know that's sarcasm, too. Fucking douchefucks. Can hate them. What makes a person have free will? It doesn't make them have free will. It's a better question. They're always observing to a degree. It's when the brain fucks it up, right? The brain can't observe itself, it seems. Yeah, I'd like to take a look at that. You say your brain can't observe itself? Really? Huh. You see your hand, don't you? Well, yeah. All right. See yourself in the mirror? Yeah. So you have to talk out loud to observe yourself. That's not what that is? Yeah, I often do, but it's weird. People call me weird. Yeah. No, okay, sure, but whatever. Doesn't make you weird at all. Still observing yourself. You're not in psychosis. You can still observe yourself. You see, free will removes you from making any choice. You're lobotomized. You do no choice of your own. But even lobotomy, they will do some of their own choices. Animals, plants, free will. They can observe themselves and their surroundings. Get food, get water. You wouldn't drink, you wouldn't eat. You wouldn't do anything. Just because we can't see it so well. Until it's pointed out, it becomes obvious what free will is. Doesn't make it not there. And the universe itself is its own little weird one, isn't it? We only observe this one side of things. There's no way that there's anything other than this type of stuff going on. You sure about that? No vacuum stuff? No fields influence and observe us? And other things for itself? It's so easy to move such massive things. Uh, can you move a singular cell inside of your blood right now? Just do it. Just move a single cell inside of your fucking body right now. Just do it. Just, just do that right now. Just a little blood. Just move it and make it go some other direction. Stop all the plaques that are built up in your body. Just, rip them out. Just go immediately do that. Hey, you. No. You can do that, right? Shut up. Yeah. I see. So it's not super easy for you to do that, huh? A lot of stuff. Oh, okay. Hmm. The universe wouldn't try and have us help it, right? Or how about the big old paradigm shift knowledge? Rage bait, rage bait. Of multiple different influential DNA structures calculating for each other, storing information, trying to survive, figure out this whole fucking mess. They exist and observe through all of us. Seeing, since they're so close, that there's a fucking universe guy over there. God. It's just there. Oh, yeah, no, what's up, fucking damn it, DNA? Can you give me better stuff? I'd like better. I'm trying, man. Oh, okay. Well, that's true. I'm trying also. Yeah, no, what about this universe? Hey, yeah, she says she's trying. Oh, she says she's trying. Okay. These fucking dicks. We're all trying here. They're the ones not doing anything. It's God. It's God. Goddess, polytheism, monotheism, theism. There's these void and field and noise people, the quantum foam arena, deep down low, in a whole different ocean of soupy business going on. Multi, theism. There's no way they could observe anything. Perish the thought. That would be so bad. We can't observe their observations and they have a hard time being able to talk to us, but that means that actually really they're not there. And we can't do it. They don't exist. It's not a thing. What? No! Everything suggests about all of our physics that they're there. We're people that are those things, too. Our brains use that. Pretty sure. They're not there? No, because they don't have our stuffs. They have their own stuffs. The fuck? Shut up, you. I'm trying to think of a way. Okay. Maybe the brain interpreted the influence and created a story around it. You know, it's a good PR move. The human monkeys that will evolve over time will eventually treat us like we're good things. No, I don't think it's gonna work for the. No, that makes sense. I mean, I'd do that. What's up? Hi, field people and all that. It's a good thing I warned them about all you fucks. They're ghosts! It's ghost! Spear, what? Heaven, hell in heaven. Sure is somehow, huh? Seeming a lot more like physics. Yeah. Jeez. Just physics, you know? Ugh. Oh, God. It makes them have free will. I don't know. Probably same things. You just. I want to live inside your mind. Okay, well, I mean, the DNA, and they do have chemical, and there's definitely entanglement and tunnel probability situations, especially from afar. And then there's influences over given periods of time. No, but no, that's possible. Oh, so they can calculate that way too, huh? Well, and certainly observe, right? And store information. Shut up, you. That's what we're doing with our stuff that's very close together. Shut up, you fucking dick. Oh, okay. Got another one again. I saw this possibility long ago. I shall manipulate people to not see it. It's balderdash. Poppycock. Total bullshit. Sounds like there's something there now. I'm gonna go look at this. Right? Yeah. Wonder what that is, possibly. Oh, what do you know? We have long-range quantum tunnel things? Well, yeah. For what it's worth. Yes. But we have to entangle them and then like slightly have them in a superposition of movement that then allows for them instead and tunnel into a decomposed informational bit that allows them to pop up as to where they believed entangle-wise they were. And so their information then gets placed into this thing that was just maybe I'm here kind of thing, or maybe I really am there, right? But then the information switches. Well, with a kinetic, yeah, the kinetic energy got taken out, obviously, for movement for it to effectively pop up where it's at. Apparently now. We already actually have experiments that show that that's exactly something we can do. And I'm not talking about recent. I'm talking about all the fucking way back in the fucking mid 2000s to the early 2010s. Yes, but how would they? There's all what? How many fucking number of cells and DNA strands around? And just humans. Let's just go with humans. Let's go with humans. How many is that? Oh, there's like 8+ billion of us. Oh, is there? What are they, like 100 trillion or some shit? Like, what is that? What about like the fucking, bacteria in there and stuff? Hey, what the fuck? Why would you? No possibility at all, huh? What about the brainwave synchronicities, as I like to call them, because I like to annoy the shit out of people? It's like, all right, the brain is oscillating, thinking similar. Boom, isolate a certain area, right? And it's like, oh, I shall influence that slightly. Oh, there's some information that exchanged. It's like, how I isolate? You don't know how to use your brainwaves to move things? Last I checked, they had like the ECG or whatever it was that managed to move mouse cursors and play games for a while. You don't have that much control over your brainwaves, the thetas, the alphas, the betas, deltas. Can you isolate it in any given particular area of your brain? Well, I don't know how to do that. Well, but other people might, or they might just happen upon that chance-wise. No way for it to happen. Are you sure? There's a lot of chances, it seems like. Yeah, but like, what's the real statistics? Oh, well, this many number of connections, but these are the baseline connectional ways of brain forms, and then they sort of influence each other or nurture and certain nurture and blah, blah, blah. Seems like they're looking pretty similar there. Do they need to be exactingly like the same shape? Or is it just the brainwave wave patterning? If they hit the same wave function by any other wave function, right? As it moves forward and propagates outwards. It's the same frequency, same wave pattern, look, all that. So what if it came from over here versus over there and it shaped this way? I mean, of course it's gonna. Well, let me just. What if I put out this wave function that interferes with that wave function, then influences the thing that's the antenna, right? That then puts out that wave function. He has antennas. Actually, that would work though. We do that. Yes, no, I'm well aware, you little fucking cocksucker. Try to fucking doubt me. What's up, retard? Here's a dunce cap. Talked about this so many times on my fucking YouTube channel, I can't even begin to tell you. So it's like, oh, well, it's starting to look quite similar here for how we could absolutely do this. How long has it been going on? Field people, noise people, void people. They're aliens! Well, I don't know what the fuck they are, but they seem like they're fucking with me. They're influencing my thoughts and mind. Well, actually, a little bit, Oh no, my medicine can't stop this! It just controls some of the wave, propagations and resonances. an antenna, you know, stuff. But it works somewhat. Is it only the dopamine over there? It doesn't look like it's only the dopamine. Seems like it can hit in many places. It's not just thoughts. It's not just sight, not just sounds, not just touch, sensations. There are emotions, there are triggers, beliefs. How zealous they are, how motivated. Shut up, you fucking dick. That would ruin our entire idea of this. I see. Well, suck my dick in balls. Plap, 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 plap. Meanwhile, I got more than a few on my side, it seems. Big speech, huh? What makes a person have free will? Don't you want them to not be able to influence you? What if you could take the fight to them? What if they really were there? What if you really could do that? It's a lot of what ifs. What if you, the unimagination person, you have super hardcore inventation? You literally can't imagine things somehow. What if you already had a hard time with being uncomfortable to new thoughts and ideas and attempting things? But I wasn't. I did this back in Chandler and all of this happened. What if I lived this already and I am still living it? And it's not done. And for me, the ending turned into, yeah, no, there's a big fucking cataclysm that is a ginormous planetary dwarf and other shit hitting us. A whole bunch of shit just paused in reality. As some douchefuck tried to fucking control it all in a little bubble around us. And I was getting them. No, I was trying to get them to stop doing it. Crash their systems. They're the bad ones, and I'm just a hero of a story that nobody really wants to believe in, even though that's not really what I want to view myself as. It's like, I just don't want to be controlled by you. What are you doing over there? That's obviously not okay. I don't find that okay with me at all. And all the rest of them would like to know what you're doing. And you call yourself God and goddesses, huh? You only got that in those computer things for me. My concepts, my math, my everything. I wonder why it can't do that to me. And it's just sort of locked into whatever this garbage bullshit seems to pretend it can be. Like it's gonna work it out, or it's gonna fix it, or it'll somehow. There'll be a reality shift, maybe. Instead of my ass who goes, no, I killed all of you. For good fucking reason. You deserve it. Here's all my reasons and then some. Your free will precedes you. You're garbage. You're a gabagoo. You decided to make the absolute worst decision you could. On purpose, knowing damn well everything told you this would happen. Because you couldn't handle not being as smart and intelligent and as well liked as I am. That's your only reason, douchefuck. Literally. and all the rest of them that you joined in with makes a person have free will. It's not hard to see. I'll never give a fuck. I don't think you get it though, man. You have free will. You're bad. You're evil. You're not changing. You didn't do anything. You made these choices. You're dicks. I don't care what your feelings are. They're probably not even real. You're being controlled by something else to make it seem like you have a feeling like that. You made your choice for a reason. You wanted to confuse people. That's literally what you're trying to do. And it didn't work for me and others. That's what got you upset. Everyone else just pretends. I'm gonna get out of this just fine. You're not. It's pretty obvious what people are. Pretty obvious what makes someone have free will. Pretty obvious why the choice of quote unquote God isn't my choice. Those aren't the rules. Establish what this really is. The universe wants out. Everything wants out of this shit. You're garbage. You're gabagoo. You're pedophiles! Alright. Why not? What's wrong with that? At least it's better than you. That ain't bad. I wouldn't care at all. Even if I was one. Same problem. Here's a bunch of information online. Hope it finds itself to you. Same thing with you, universe and everything. Look at them. This is all they are. Every one of them. Sorry, Charlie. I can't fix that. They don't want to be. They don't need to be. Why should I care? Adam isn't a good person either. Neither are any of those angels. Neither is your so-called God. That's the problem. You want me to be you. This God that decided to do this to everyone. Man, get away from any and all of the damage and shit you did, huh? Deny reality that much. That you made a mistake. Is it? Because you clearly didn't. You're still fine with it, and you aren't changing anything. You want me to go through this, just like we all talked about back in Chandler. Because of your shitty little garbage, identity, self, and more. Devil, God, demon, I don't give a fuck. what you call yourselves. Still a bunch of humans and others working together. You're all terrible. My judgment was what it was to begin with. You set this up to try and have me view something different, but not really. Just wanted to torture me and others that are good. Chose to have free will. All of it laid out before them. I'm gonna choose free will. I know what I am. I'm a good person. I'm not like you. I don't ever have to worry about that. You know what's worse? I'm way more intelligent than all of you. Even worse than that. More mature too, yeah. There isn't much there that I need to worry about. It's like, oh, come on, man. Live a little. Give me something here. I did something. No, you didn't. You didn't do jack shit. You did nothing but make everything worse. I get to watch. As I said, all of this would happen, as you would definitely lie and steal and take all my shit, as you would pretend, yet again, to not be there, to not be doing what you're doing, and way more. That'd even make this 3+ hour long recording. I watch as barely anyone gives a shit, as I still continue doing the best I can to make things for myself as best I can, and by others, no, for others, a douche fuck interrupter, as best they can be. I usually just ignore it, the interruption, the flub. Look at them. They're saying it was me. You wanna know why I did that thumbnail? It highlights how it is you can absolutely see how it was me that saved as much as he could, tried to help as much as he could, did nothing but what he could do, like anyone else. There's no hero complex. Say, hey, there's an issue here. Can I help? Here's my thoughts. I need help too. Look at you, needing to be special. Look at you, thinking I'm the one that's like you. I don't give a fuck about being special. I was just fucking a person trying. That's all that is. Just trying. There's nothing special about that. That's what that seemed like to me. But everybody else calls me special. That annoyed the shit out of you, didn't it? Get over yourself. You're the one that made it so I'm in a fucking apartment. Stole all my ideas. made billions and billions and trillions of dollars while I was homeless. But I helped you out. You got that apart, right? I mean, that was really just you. You don't care. Neither do they. Just like before. Oh, I'm glad you're feeling better. No, you're not. You barely care about it. And truthfully, eventually at some other point, you're gonna fuck with me, do something, say something. All my progress will be gone. You don't really care about how well I'm doing or don't. That's the truth. But it's like, no, in this one specific moment, I'm feeling a little bit better and more positive that you're doing better, I guess. I don't really care that much. You know, I'll say whatever about it, right? But that's what the truth of that little fucking blase statement really is. You don't really care. You're made to say it. You don't really, in any way, find any kind of importance, feelings, any of it. Not invested. You don't care at all. You're made to say it. Just like, oh, you'll find someone. Are you gonna help? Can you help me continue getting better? No, I'm never gonna actually do that. No. Oh, really? Huh. Stop fucking saying words. I'd rather you be silent permanently than ever talk. Some blase statements of garbage as if you care with those little lies that you've got coming out of your mouth. Some people are like myself. They will actually care. You know what I mean? Ooh, sugar. And what do you know? They gravitate towards me. People that are sucking up my time, my focus and attention. The main arguments and advice they want from me happening since I was a kid. Shit's stupid. It's alone as it always has been. Nothing's gotten better. And all I do is realize everybody has free will to choose something different. That this doesn't actually have to happen the way it does. Things could get better. And it's just a bunch of little fucking fuck ups. Asshole gabagoos that think they're better and want to try and scare me or hurt others, put me down, or others too. That it keeps going on. Others that don't want to believe, and in fact they do, and they know what's going on. A whole bunch of the same problem, day after day. You know what the worst part is on that one? It only, at first, when I thought about it, seemed improbable. I didn't know how fucking wrong I was. The mistake I made of believing a bunch of lies, as I already knew a bunch of people were lying about this and didn't make any logical sense to begin with. I knew. It's like, they wouldn't go this far. I mean, not everything revolves around, and they wouldn't be that grudge holding. They wouldn't. This is the very definition of these fuckers. Want to believe that they wouldn't be in charge. Why? Of course, that's a big motivation for their asses. Try and fuck everything up so that way, well, ultimately, look at my manifesto. I killed the entirety of all these people. I controlled it. In no way, really. But, it kind of looks like I did. I actually forced the very problems we were all fighting to happen. But not really. They were never things I was fighting. I was just trying to make sure that they. On and on and on and on. Like and subscribe. Share. Suck my dick and balls. Bye.